Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a meditation reading, which is timeless. And my meditation particularly is focusing on the extreme number. At least half of the social and outer planets are retrograde, including Mercury, a very personal planet. So we'll get into that as we begin the reading with the Page of Pentacles as your overall energy. And this is bringing me directly to the point of how much you are learning about your body, how you are recognizing that you are in, if available to it, constant communication with your feelings, with triggers, with emotions that sometimes disrupt what seems like a logical or productive approach when we experience discomfort, and the ways in which you are now following that discomfort. In the past, there are many reasons why we don't listen to ourselves. There are many experiences that we don't want to look at or see. But now is a time for you to look at those things that are triggered by what appears to be a moderate or acceptable pace of progress. Things erupt and they're calling on your consciousness to consider them, to determine where that memory or experience is coming from that creates a discomfort that you can't think your way through. This is about honoring your intuition indeed, and being very present in the moment. Underneath the deck, the Queen of Pentacles, I like this because here you're clearly resting on a framework, a plan, a procedure, a proposal, a way that you believe things are going to progress. But you understand underneath that it really relies on your effort. That's the real key to your success, your forward progress. And yet you are being present, allowing yourself to be in the moment as you experience these communications from your physical body, your feelings, your emotions. I also pulled a glyph oracle card. I pulled transitions and archway. And if you can see, of course you can, these beautiful archway, and it looks like planetary energy through that portal. And this feels like a clear representation of what many of the outer planets are doing. I want to note that the exception is Pluto. So that is an indication that we are being pulled collectively through into something brand new, something that is shocking, something that is electric, something that is meant to challenge us and disrupt our conventions, our traditions, our ordinary way of doing things, taking us to a more global measurement of success and abundance that is available for all. I'm going to read for you from the glyph book briefly, the archway. In spiritual and metaphorical context, archways are often represent thresholds or gateways between different realms or states of being. They symbolize the passage from the old to the new, or from one phase of life to another. In ancient Egypt, the entrance of temples symbolized the passage from the earthly realm into the sacred domain of the gods, emphasizing the spiritual significance of crossing boundaries. In Chinese culture, the moon gate, a circular archway found in traditional gardens, symbolizes the tradition from one world to another. These gates often represent a journey into tranquility and an invitation to experience inner peace. Similarly, in many spiritual practices, crossing through an archway signifies a rite of passage and the transformative power of new beginnings. What I do feel is that you're being reshaped by your present experiences that you are finding validation and information from within your body's own internal unconscious reactions to a plan, an idea. For some of you, this is about a reconnection with someone who has been significant in your life that you're reconnecting with and noticing, for most of you, how much you've changed, how much you don't want the past, but you are open, you're considering an openness to something being sustained in the present moment, building something that is mutually or reciprocally experienced in a connection. In the present, we have the Moon card. This is so very perfect, as the energy here really is about the way in which you have gathered courage to look at what is uncomfortable, those reactions that you customarily just ignored, dismissed, pushed down, ignored. You now recognize that they are giving you information that you need as to why things that you feel that you are pursuing in a rational, consistent manner are being blocked, are not coming to fruition. And there is this inner knowing that you are blocking your own blessings. So this communication with your feelings and emotions are prompting you to recognize the demons you carry within. The anger for many of you, the even rage, the disappointment, incredible sadness for some of you, hurt, that it is time that you released it. Doesn't mean that it goes away. It simply means that you're no longer fighting against it. You are surrendering to it. And in that way, you're open up to exploring it, what it's teaching you, what it's showing you, and how it might be redirecting your energy. In the past, the Seven of Swords. This comes up so often as the stories that have been told to us about who we are. In many cases, it is unintentional lies, the kinds of lies, perhaps, as an example, that loving parents tell their children, hoping that they can influence them to follow a path that they believe will be safe, without really understanding who their child is or what their child might want. That's an example. Whatever it is, it's the way in which you have been defined. You may have fought against those definitions or expectations of you for most of your life. That doesn't mean that you haven't internalized them, and at some level that you're now ready to expel. You're now ready to look at and cleanse. In the future, the Seven of Pentacles, another seven. So while you've really worked hard on this path of self-development, of understanding who you really are and what your purpose is, this feels like a deeper connection to your mission or purpose in life, what your calling is. And again, with the Pentacle influence here, you're understanding that it really ultimately doesn't rest on how you feel. Your success rests on the work that you do. When you're in alignment with who you are and what you believe, then the work you do is best evaluated in a way that helps you understand how, in the present moment, that you can sustain this investment in yourself. You've already proven that you can collect rewards, but you want to do more. You want to receive more without doing more, because you already understand your value now. I'm going to clarify these cards with the Ethereal deck, the Shadow Work deck, and I will finish off with a Crystal Oracle at the end of the reading. If this is resonating for you, please like this video. and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Comments are always welcome. In the present, I'm going to clarify the Moon card with the Nine of Cups and the Five of Cups. Wow, this is interesting. It feels as though your efforts to change your story, change your lane, and by that I mean the way that you have identified yourself, the professional or employment activities that you have cultivated or found yourself within, is something that you are experiencing a change in the current moment. You actively understand that something you wanted to pursue early in life, you have all the talent and gift for, is something you've now found a way to include in your life. It may not look like what you thought it would be, but you are giving yourself over to what you know your value and your gifts are. And so that is informing the sense that when you face those uncomfortable behaviors, you have the tools, the love, the passion, the power to resolve that in a way that's going to serve your productivity moving forward. It's important to you to feel practical and reasonable, to offer tools to others through whatever activity or effort you make. In the past, the Seven of Swords is clarified by Mage, the Magician, and the Tower card. Yeah, I do think that this experience of recognizing that you are no longer simply accepting some of the discomfort and triggers that have arisen around activities or efforts that you want to make, even goals you have, people you've surrounded yourself with who have perhaps fit into a camp in which you were constantly reminded of the goals of those who conditioned you. That's been challenged. That has stopped working for you because my sense is that you don't trust the authority of those people who caution you to stick with the old lane, to stick with the old framework, to stay in the space of conventionality, taking care of others above expressing yourself productively. And that has fallen away for you. You recognize that that not only is not for you or about you, but it's not trustworthy either. And so you are looking to this idea that you can create out of the present moment, that you don't need to know the answers in sort of part because you want to react, you want to respond to those who tell you to follow the old routes, trails, traditions. And instead of responding to them, you realize and are understanding that your discomfort is the disruption to this old story about who you are. And that by exploring these triggers, you become to understand why you have been holding yourself back from the success and receiving the value that you know is yours. So I could talk all day about this because it is very much in alignment with what I believe is occurring specifically in the planet Uranus, returning to Taurus for the last time, ways that we are learning to change, learning to heal, addressing our own misalignments in a way that lets us explore unexpected opportunities, gifts, things that weren't planned for, things that can't be planned for, And this is creating a really beautiful and magical opportunity for you in terms of the development of this effort that is moving forward, allowing you this beautiful expression of your gifts and talents. So I almost feel like a return to something you once dreamed about, in terms of a gift that is now available to you. It is part of a process, so none of this happens overnight, of course, but I do feel that because you have been working hard and you understand the effort you make is really the proof of the pudding, that you are beginning to understand the realm of your unconscious, your subconscious, and this wealth of information that your body is cluing you into. In the future, the Seven of Pentacles is clarified by the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Cups. This is more, a bit more. This is actually describing how much you have changed, how much you have surrendered. All of the past in which you unconsciously, unwillingly had internalized the criticisms about who you are, what your life choices were, even your lifestyle, financial decisions you made, constantly outside of the box of your conditioning, never quite in line with what you were expected or trained to believe was possible. You've had to accept so many failures, so many disappointments in that vein, because in many ways you were not supported along the line of your new calling. Others just didn't understand what was best for you or why you were in the position in the first place. But because of the way you've learned to take care of yourself, honor yourself, and privilege your own needs, you are empowered to look at the amount of loss and release you are enduring. This is really about honoring the deaths that have become a part of your healing and not calling it anything other than what it is. And it takes real courage to do that. It takes a lot of belief in yourself that you have overcome so much already, that this is just another thing that you have now become clearly aligned with, your own mission, your own goals. You recognize those false friends and secret foes. And for many of us, this is very harsh. It's very harsh emotionally to see loved ones as not acting in our favor or accepting that, as seeing it sometimes for the first time, although it may have occurred for a long time. Nevertheless, this all is sorted into your opportunities to evaluate the investment that is needed now. And the Queen of Cups, that loving, devotional nature of yours, your master empathy, is really allowing you to recognize that you are in a moment of victory despite the sense of chaos and destruction that may feel as though it is surrounding you. I'm going to finish off this reading with the Crystal Oracle, Aries, and what pops out is amber. Ancestors is the key word. My ancestors are guiding and loving me now and always. I'm open to receive their support and wisdom. Thank you so much, Aries, for this reading. Please feel free to drop me a comment. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. And until next time, namaste.